nsia kase so ene eyo bene bosom ne data so edungotwe e wa fempimie ne aduonumienu no emu emraso sense bia ekoso e wo yema mu na edi kan di tie ne di hwepa no maboabo ne nyina no aso so se krogen amede e bro se anopa no nsia kase boy efrinkampo ni mantemo poko ase Adom Plaza building mo ene ye hye sanso okopie mu ewo eye abefo tintan kase no so dia Facebook XTVGH Samsung YouTube XTV Ghana ensema hodo amede bro enanope edos yan kasa ne dimakote bia wo bete ene se maame ba akwa wakasa edima chinye amanyoko no de aba beto dwa se adenti na Dr. Mamudu Baumia kama se waye din won kasa wonu de osusu se bia wo yare e woni mremu ye de mu kiremu ebebro na kasebo ye mo wo benya ne ntiese radio golda afimpimie eni edunkron ne mo National Communication Authority for ekoji omokrata ekrosi station no me no kasese de o masanso abanframa mu a wo mu eye dwumadwuma ye fo mo ni agye akasa eni nsentrefo ekasa ye emu kiremu obete e wo kase eso nsem bi kan we hu na me de bro sanopa no nsia kase abrame Obaapa Mavis Akosua Atteh me de kase ebrewo mami twa me ho mra mfa kase bui emu chichimu akasa emfamo Akwaba ediba XTV anopa no nsia kase so mention sem na sem fama odia na ena no pay ababe to just sem mema edima communication team womo ekasa edima echinye ejobodo amanyuko no NDC fo ho asem ena make maame Beatrice anan wodin sembia ababe to dwa de woke nyina ne se ka me se na se yenti Dr. Mamudu Baumia mampanya bedieche no yenti nka adenti na yenti nka na wo chemu se ye nyina ye nim ye wo man mu ndie abra NPP fo womo opposition no Dr. Mamudu Baumia wakasa papa wose wono eba ne sikasem hututuye dia wodi mu kinkema woni mankasa Mr. Digital wo chemu se wono de wo bone humodin papa ndie kasai wakasankasa bebi obedro bia wo chemu se wo mampani dada John Dramani Mahama wo mmone humodin kitik tipo oye incompetent enum kra no afrin pimie ni aduonu no mu eye o mampani dada John Dramani Mahama onu so ba bonti be kan se wonti ase nenti abreni dom nyina Dr. Mamudu Baumia wo bebo ne din bia no de incompetent aka ho no wonti ase ehu sem incompetent de ye nyina ye nim se ye ka incompetent ane de se o mampani abedieche Dr. Mamudu Baumia na jese wo referi ediama eye o mampani dada John Dramani Mahama na enum se no sa wo hwe bebia esi kasema kwa kodru pa jese obia kasa o mampani akasa mpo babonti be kan ye se wono agasa nim se no se kasem niema mu aye dindie na so ganafo monya abotre mfa ma no na amafo hwe se Dr. Mamudu Baumia wono sa wo kopie mu ewo NPP amanyuko ni aban a yete mu emu a womo wonna womo hwe se kasem ho tutuye dia woka team ne ho wono kra na ye penipa woda o ma no aganafo nyina hwe nim se Dr. Mamudu Baumia obeba bontina ka oba be kasa so se kasem no ekoni se anapo se ekoni se intitiro pa no wo hwe se na yesidi no di tutu dollar no ho a se na esi ekono ekamia se yesi enunti ena economy no enko yie kra no nano ena ora amame Beatrice anan echiremu se prempren ya Dr. Mamudu Baumia won kasa idie wonu de wonim nenti a won kasa no wose emre bi etwemu no na NPP amanyuko ena offense na ben ateswe wo mo kasa o Messiah economic Messiah eni Dr. Mamudu Baumia na Messiah no wakwakwohye hifa na adenti na won ma bontin be kasa adenti na waye din wonu de wosusu se bia wenya emremu yade atese wenya kropa ekro ewo ne mremu atese enunti wontimi enkasa enti no eno no na Beatrice echemu se hu behia pa se Dr. Mamudu Baumia obeba bontina wetimi aba be kasa na ganafo nyina ehu se ensema woka ye ansa na mpo ensema waka ya se na yeto oba edima NPP amanyuko no ehu nsem etisen ya na won ka kire ganafo mprempeso a sika sem na kwa kodru woma ganafo nyina asonte na ye hwe bi send ya sikasem no NPP aban no womo etutu sikasem no wase hu behia pa say omra bonti no beka no de womma bonti beka say de wo ka che Ghana fo nyina say mamu free doctor mamudu bo me no de wosusu say na oyare e woni mremu acha say wenya emremu kuro ekuro pa ababada ne mremu enu nti wontimi nkasa emfa ye sikasem a ato apete ye sikasem a eda fo ma acha say ye hu hwia enye yi wosusu say doctor mamudu bo me wenya ekuro e woni mremu Mento akase nu so na memfa nkopie mu ewo nsɛmfofromo Ghana mamre mu no ema o mapani ho kwan sɛ ahyase bia se efi afi ahyase ansa na mahyebedwafo bɛkɔ asetena no anabose so mo wɔ asetena mu a ɛho behia sɛ o mampani a wɔte dwaso no wɔbɛbɔ nkota ediama Ghana fo nyinara ɛkyerɛ yɛ pempenso a wɔman na kwakodro nyema hodro a waban no ɛyɛ anamo a wɔtutu ɛhwɛ ɛto nyema sɛ na bɛyi a wɔman no ebetimi egina ne nanso na nyema nso etimi akɔyie nhyehyɛ ahodro a wɔde to apono mo nyema ahodro a wɔmo ayɛ efiti sɛ wɔbɛtena aban mu no wɔmbu sa na me nyina ho konta ɛbrɔfo yɛ kan state of the nation address na yɛ sɛ nimpa sɛ yɛ hye afenase a na wɔmampanya akɔkasa na webu sa nkota nyina wakyɛ oman na yete mu no pomponso a etimi akɔkoduro na enomo na Ghanafoɔ ehwe enim sɛ yɛhye afeyase opepon abetwem ogifo abetwem sese no ye wo obenem Ghanafoɔ hwe enim sɛ wɔmampani ne na dodan kwakofo ado bɛba abonte na wɔba bɛkyerɛ Ghanafoɔ sɛ na ɛkɔ anapo sɛ na ɛkɔ yɛnte hwe yɛnim sɛ emre bi etwe mu no bɛn na otwe mienu ne wɔn de betu dwa sɛ obene bosom ne da to so miensa na wɔn de state of the nation address no ɛbɛbrɛ yɛ naso ɛno a na wɔn twe mu wɔn ankyerɛ yɛ dan ebesan so abebiom na no na Ghanafoɔ ebisa sɛ adenti na ɛkɔkɔyɛ ne sam adenti na ɛba ne sam na wɔn enim sɛ wɔn ankasa no wɔn atutu wɔn nyɛma yi wɔn nim sɛ wɔn man no emu nyɛ wɔn nim asɛm pɔtea wɔn ba bɛka kyerɛ Ghanafoɔ ɛno nti na wɔn ayɛ din akyerɛ sɛ wɔn mma bɛka kyerɛ yɛ pɔmpɔso a ɛyɛ wɔn man no akɔkodrum na ɛnom na nsɛntrɛfoɔ ɛfrɛ wɔpɛni a wɔnom ene ye majority chief whip ewo mahyebedwefie wono nso eye mahyebedweni edima tolon abato mpeswa so onunyam ne Habib Idrisu womo ene ne kasa ye bisane se ede na esie adenti ene wo mampani na nadodan kwakofo ado won ma bontin ye embekire ye mpemposo a eye oman Ghana yakwakodru anam wo kire mu se womo ye hyehyɛ sanka march busum no ne da to so miensa ena anka Obaapa state of the nation address no ede ama yenanso womo ehunu isem 6 March ni mu no omampani besan so akwa kakasa na yeso okasa ted no san okasa yesita na yese akwakoye de yewo ho enti no womo twin san so ansa na no ene ebisa se sa afi bia 6 March de afi bia ye di 6 March enti adenti ene want me in state of the nation address na fenso no one san so command speech ewo eye 6 March ni mu ana echemu sei na wodi emaye.
In fact, I think the president is within the law. If you look at the constitution in Article 67, it says that the president shall, at the beginning of each session of parliament and before the dissolution of parliament, it's not the fact that the president have breached any constitutional, provisions in terms of the delivery of the State of the Nation address. And let me put it on record that I am the chairman of the President's State of the Nation Address Committee in Parliament. I chaired that committee. The last time we had a meeting, we had agreed that the president was going to deliver the State of the Nation address on the 3rd of March. But due to further consultation, we realized that the 6th March, which is the Independent Day of Ghana, was also of a very important day to the Republic. So doing the State of the Nation or the message on the State of the Nation on the 3rd and then on the 6th also doing the 6th March was something that was not good. So our committee then advised, and I chaired the committee, like I rightly said, that it is not in a good idea for us to have the State of the Nation address on the 3rd of March and then also coming to have the 6th March on the 3 days after, so that the president message on the nation could actually be able to send. We will meet again to be able to fix a date for it. There was other government engagement that could not be done. And like I rightly said, in Article 67, the president is still within the law. The president is not binding to just put it, I'm supposed to do it tomorrow or tomorrow next. And it is the message on the nation. So when the president deems it fit and within the law, the president will definitely address the nation on that. And our committee, we have put in all our arrangement in place. We have communicated to those who are involved, and when the president and the government is ready to deliver the state of the nation, it will be done. But we should not make it look like or try to argue that it is within or is outside the parameters of the law. It is still within the law, the beginning of the session to the dissolution of parliament. So at any time, the president can come and address the nation. For the fact that it has been done earlier in previous state of the nation doesn't mean that if this one come on a later date, it is against the law. No, that's not the right.
Habib Idrisu, one Sawosha Bedrekwa, one more FS woman penny, betimi ede state of the nation address, nebeba, one more and a tutu nyama shese, a betimi ababont, and what did you say? What day a pie? Men talk as Yenu and a man from Copiemo, Elwo, in some food from more. Ogo Piemo, our Ettefe, Epuya Mante more, a upper East region, Boko, a Camia Semin, Timmy wants to be a man homeless one, just a tutu, Dimecum, Nidimeya, and the Akosua, our Honoma, and ye asem, Kumane Sentinel in Rada, Oko Piemo, a dready for one more etunton near ma, Ewo Quine, one more Edia, Reho, Ekasaya, one more HM say, as laugh for any post for Ecomo, a boma, near ma, one more tunton, Ewo Quine, one more Ebessa, Yemenina, Etugu, share in Riania, one more Enria, ye, Sanka, one more Eltunton, a police one is so just free, Ebe she Yemenina, Eguya, I say, one more nim Nientia, post one is so just for no, etimi ye bibia etesa, na in Rianino, a be ye more, a be ye jollof, a be ye benkuni, near my wood bebre, our motunton, one more see, and yen Riani no can, and now one more Etugu ye, after no motorbikes, a honono, one more essay say near ma in Kumwana, one more so, almost say, Nini Nara, a hono much as a yara was some papa, one more age, and was a south and a woman more yet. Someone near my boy yet. No more bomb, whom my dear tune to near Nema, a Diana San, Comqua, just suppose one is so just free, etimi aqua sano, a how more papa, na a dready for be a woman and centre for Ekasayan, one more age, almost say one more buy no, one more beside almost a day, one more year, one more age show must say, oh, ye near Diane Upton, our Hanum, and no one no our man simple, and say, I so just free, Edward Munai butu in Nadia, one more egetano, only butu Nemano Eddie Goo for ma, just say aqua yara, who said, no, and they dready for be edge as that for the same. One cause our munim. Say the air court one will see one more air court a dracasi anymore. As now for now, some more catch a dready for any same. One more frequent home, no more court a dracasi no emo. No and I dready for you so extra one more same. Said Basabasaya air costo a war a boko honum. No one more nim quite on Befasodia saw or how an annual. No more form when you bring infant baby almost no more honum. A honuman or moton one near ma. A month from Subaho ebe tointe ho and a woman so one would do a mudra. A whole sem bebre about PMO a wahanum. Na sansem ye mo ye eba security analyst a wono ni dindi Habib yesane wono ne nsentwefo ekasa ye efa sa basabasa ye a ekoso ewo boku honum no wono nsentwefo ekasa ya wo chem se behu behia pa sa ban no be sorry waka impanifo be sorry waka na mente me ho ase ye nyina ye nim se boku honum kopie honum a ahensem ne hu nsem bebre oti hono wo bete ne atututu wo be kwa akohwe na jese unhu nipa unhu krofo mo atutuo no jese di mekum ni di meyaw ekọ wie chire kra no na asrafo ebi epra wo ebi nso ewemegu na jese hu nsem bebre wo mo nim krofo kwa wo mo di san nyamra ho nsem enti eye opani sani echemo se hu behia sempani fo be sori waka na sundwe mapa enti memra boko ehono.
Coming from Tamale, I was in the north over the weekend. I came yesterday. This morning, I had the opportunity to brief some diplomats, and one of the topics that came up for discussion is the Boko issue. We currently have well over 300 unresolved chieftaincy crises all across the length and breadth of the country. Most of the crisis is gone to sleep, but it doesn't mean it's been resolved. At any time, with a little trigger, it is able to cause a lot of mayhem. However, one consistent crisis that we've had to contend with that has been bloodied all the way through has been the Boko issue, which many governments, both past and present, have largely been unable to address. And the problem is our seeming over-reliance on a militarized strategy to deal with the issue. Fine. There's absolutely nothing intrinsically wrong with deploying military personnel because it seeks to only maintain interim peace. However, if you fail to deal with the fundamentals, trust me, you would have this becoming more like a cycle and repeating itself. But what I am most disturbed about is the changing, the dynamics with respect to the conflict. Now, what we are very used to is someone coming into the middle of town and from nowhere shooting another person and vanishing. But if we are not careful, now they are going to start attacking police and military personnel. And that, I must say, is disturbing. And we need to really put the proper mechanisms on the ground beyond just the deployments, beyond just the meetings to deal with this issue. And what I am also disturbed about is the asymmetrical nature of the whole conflict. This is not two armies coming head on facing each other and one winning and one losing. No, it is a shoot and run, hide and seek kind of tactic. That is why the Nigerian government has for years been unable to defeat Boko Haram, because they shoot and they run and they are nowhere to be found. And that is exactly what is happening. I have friends in the security services in that area. Their former commander, the military commander in Boku, is a personal friend. And they tell me that, look, you would hear gunfire at one area. By the time you get there, it's all quiet as if nothing happened. Then you hear it elsewhere. I'm going to say this and quote me anywhere. There is nothing like a military solution to anything in any part of the world, including Ghana. I am not discounting the importance of having military personnel on the ground to perhaps stop the belligerents. However, it's not sustainable. We need to deal with the fundamental issues. Well, point of correction, it has never worked. It has never worked, absolutely not. And for your information, and off camera, I challenge you to speak with people on the ground and they will tell you the information about the number of deaths we are receiving is very underestimated. Trust me, a lot more people have died as a result. So nothing has worked. I mean, no military posture has worked in the past nor in the present, okay? So I think that one of the most important things we have to look at is the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. The only reference point we have as at now is the 2014 Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center baseline report that indicated there are well over 2 million guns in the system. According to the Small Arms Commission, as at the close of 2020, out of the 1.25 million Ghanaians who have their weapons registered, only about 40,000 re-registered. So you can imagine 8 years down the line, since the Kofi Annan baseline survey, how many more weapons we would have had in the system, especially stemming from the influx in Libya, finding its way through the Sahel region into sub-Saharan Africa. We have friends we work closely with. We've sat in for courses with. One of them is a Nigerian police officer, and he tells me that almost every single day they impound trucks filled with guns headed towards sub-Saharan Africa. So we really need to look at it, particularly also the local gun manufacturing industry, because without these guns, these people would not have the motivation to go into the center of town to shoot people. Secondly, we need to be very careful about the terrorism threat this might pose to us. Remember, we have Moshis, for example, in Ghana. We have them in Burkina Faso. So if they feel that their comrades are in distress in Ghana, they might seek reinforcement from Burkina Faso into Ghana, and that might also pose a different level of existential threat to the security of the state. Then we also have to look at the human insecurities, the lack of jobs, the economic, hardship.
Security analyst and no watch it, Womo epesa ban ne yesene be asundwe mapa ebetimi aba boko yento akase no so na edan no ye wo ho na otwe ya energy yes for wo mo edebetu dwa ese achechefo headmasters headmistress ni penifo ahodo a wo mo eye adwuma na se wo mo te eye bungalows ahodo kire nkwala no ade no wo mo rent anapo se wo mo sika yetua ma wo mo no ya ade a wo bete so eye ohom chichemu edu ede etua rent ede ama wo na asemi betu dwa no achechefo no anya wo mo de Ghana fo bebre ekasa yendi Ghana ho nkomompo ya de betu dwa ma amafo nso wo mo kire wo madwo mo chemu se we die emboa ma humesua edimu emboa ma humesua na ye pese ye hunu daachi no ebetimi ayeye na chirechefo ka bomuko ba kwa ye fra omo eye Ghana National Association of Teachers eye NAT the General Secretary wada omo ano ni din de wopeni Thomas Musa wakasa edifa sansem ho a wo chiremu se e kamia ye say GS inshisha wonne eye chirechefo ekoye no won pese wo bedi sanhihye no eso esan se GS e kire wo mo se eye headmasters headmistress ni penifo ahodo a wo mo eye adwuma e wo schools ahodo secondary schools ahodo no a wo mo e wo aban bangalows ye be ma mo baby atena na se ne day wo mo sanso e ba mo chibio no mbeka se wo mo ti bangalows ni mu nyina fiti 2006 Bombesa se etiti wo mu dia wo chemu say GSM pese ehumesua betimi edimu yenkone kote nsem a eye wo pani Thomas Musa wodi etudwa.
Listen to what the Renew Collective Agreement says, that accommodation may be provided to the following categories of staff: headmasters, assistant headmasters, senior housemasters, principal, vice principals, head teachers, assistant head teachers, frontline deputy directors, guidance and counseling officers, chaplains, and all the things like as indicated in 2009. And therefore, we find it disturbing, unfortunate, and disheartening. Listen to what the Renew Collective Agreement says, that accommodation may be provided to the following categories of staff: headmasters, assistant headmasters, senior housemasters.
Musa wonu ye chrochofo ediman nat ena wetimi abobọ so nkrofo a aban no ehye anapo da GS ehye omo bose ye be ma omo baby atena eno no na sanse mi no nsentrefo bom homode wom ne mpanifo bi ekasa ye na ekane wopani awono eka ranking member on work and housing ehun eye opani wasanso ye machebedwini edima adehye omo wo west about one person so nyam ni Emmanuel Bejira wono so ekasa ye de wo kanya ene se wono de wo susu se san hihye ye aban ede eba no won hwe se achechefo a wo mo nkranketua na pese nkranketua ni mo no yenyi wo mo mfemfiri wo mo de ye ma aban no impe bebi ma wo mo na wo mo na.
With this policy, especially when government is encouraging teachers to go to the rural areas to teach, this could be an incentive for those who are in the rural areas, so that government can waive off this rent allowance, and so that government can absorb that for the maintenance of the place. So I want to appeal to government that those who are in the rural areas, as a way of motivating them, they should allow those people, because we put up a lot of bungalows. When it comes to my constituency, for instance, I have teachers bungalows dotted all over the places, and most of them have not been paying. And when they ask me whether they should pay or not, I say they should pay. But because it's a rural area, I think government should waive off the rural areas one. But it is government policy that every staff, government worker.
Emmanuel Bejira and I would say ne can also GS force also the ababa to ja esse womo dear womo edia ba bonteno aban na hye womo se womo nyenti womo de aban no en adwuma en na womo eye ede amano menko nstemfofo mo eye mebosom ne da etoso du e wa afempimie ne adunu nkrom ne mo en na edunkrom ne mo en na eye National Communication Authority for womo ebom humodi ebepiem woman Ghana mo womo echo stations ahodo radio stations TV stations a womo famra emfa nya adwuma a womo krata wobo ebinum echemu se womo krata no kran aso e wo se womo renew a womo ntimi a renew and offense no womo afa hihye yahodo emfa nya adwuma no womo ebom humodi e de credo echo to womo stations ni nyina emo na baako edimu kinkima pa eya radio gold a amafo bi esusu kra process a radio good no podi eya NDC4 station na nuachi NDC4 kra be yem unsentrefo hyemu bebre e kan se aban no pese wo kan womo nsem e hye womo yem na won pese nyema ekoso na womo e kan aban ne impenity e na wahye da akwa akotutu eye radio station emo na eda no enura de nani nansa ena ni de yenya nwentie se radio gold ayeto mo fiti afempimie ni edunkro ni mo afedie nhihye yahodo a NCF de to hosank wo mo nyansa na mpo wetimi ebia ma wo mo no wetimi ahom ni nyina aye ni nyina ma se de adwuma ahyase na adwuma yefo a wo mo ewo honom no omani giye ankasa wa hwe se wakwakotena fie eye mfie mako miensa na fede yakacho se adwuma no ye sanso afro se san be ye adwuma bi wo mo chemu se wo mo ni agea ma afempo de wo mo ti se radio no wo mo tune a wo mo ti se radio no kasa no se na fede adanse wo mo ensu wo mo ni nsentrefo kasa yen.
Hear the sound of Radio Gold on traditional 90.5. It's something else. This morning at 5:50, I tuned in and I heard that they started, and I started crying. I got very emotional.
Our viewers, anytime they see us, the kind of infectious smile that they throw at us, I mean, gives us some sort of encouragement that there is something better and brighter and smoother coming. So I'm really elated because we've gone through torrid times.
For many workers here, this is not only an exciting comeback, but also one that pushes them to do their jobs even more critically.
Radio Gold is Radio Gold. We will do what we are known for and even better. We wouldn't say that because of what had happened we are toning down, or we won't say if it's black, we'll say it is white. If it is white, we'll state it that it is white.
As far as I'm concerned, the government does not have a problem with what I do. They have a problem with the fact that we're not following certain rules and they took away our authorization. They've restored it. Job continues as usual.
Hear the sound of Radio Gold on traditional 90.
See, adwumayefo a womo ewo Radio Gold na ho yese womo ekasa womo chemu za fedie on ba be ye adwuma nkasa on ba be ye adwuma pa womo nkase no kra na womo kan nti aye ze ya ba tu womo die ma wo bie de ze womo kan no kra be no kra na eno be koso aka ye nto akase no so ye fa wonko wie mo ewo adwedie mu nsem mo ye CD ni dollar ho nsem a ye kan ya se no ye kire mu a se dollar no wadwane kra mre be etwe mu kra no na Dr. Mahmoud ba me ase o se die ade a dollar no wache ne pa na ode no ama eye IGP ena watumu wa lock no ena ode key no e de ahye ni bottom ti say de pa say dollar ne bedwane ejase de emma so nanso minim amafo bisa say bia na dollar ne we break jail inti say anu we dwane kura ja say baby onam kura no osidi no ohun ni na ya chimpo efutro kura nam ni na echikura wo hu no na no na amafo bi ebisa say eba ne sen ena ekọ sam ena impanifo ahodo echiremu say se no ekamia ye se Ghana fo ye panyema ye kade fiam no ne ebepiemu wo man Ghana mu dodo ye mpe yankasa ye niema ye pese ye kra niema ebepiemu ewo Ghana ha nti na manusu nti na ye sidi no tia na ete eba fom no.
We all know that the more we import, it will definitely affect our dollar rate. And as they keep importing, it's definitely going to affect the dollar rate because they do not import with the Ghanaian cedi. They sell the Ghanaian cedi off to buy the dollar, and it keeps increasing the strength of the dollar. Now, when we're talking about the shipment, I'll still find a solution with it, with the domestication bit. Because if you are investing in a product that is already made here, you are not going to have problems with any shipping line. And the shipping lines determine their own freight. Since the COVID outbreak, the freight charges kept on escalating to the highest level. It started dropping, but not to where they were initially paying. So initially they were paying about, if they were paying about 5,000, at a point it got to about 15,000, and now it's back to about 9,000. It still has some lots of dropping to get to, but then we'll still come back to the fact the bottom line of investing in the products that are made here in Ghana. For those that we have the capacity to produce for everybody, full capacity production, we will encourage them to invest in these products. And along the line, for everything they raised issues of credit, access to good credits, access to credits with low interest rates, and we'll see how we can be able to arrange that, especially when it is tied to investing in products that are already made.
Adishima Mayenja say a crack and Yama Bifano ne Ebepimo Ewo or my Ganano, and Namuswa Yesidi no, Tia and Ete Eba Formano, a honey edicase bonina yedi AC, me fast down from out. Sabrini Domini now Yada Jenny Brain, now share FCV and a panon Sia Cassie. As a down confirm with cameraman DJYX or no, and a general camera nechi, a demame Sanson, and a Bismarck or non son, and a Wuchame, Eddie, etu Mabra Lonson, etanechi Didiano pay, so whom in Name who you fa, when fancy Damandio, or yemi makeup, a mame, a chichi beauty parlor, will bet me a freno, it was 0547254078, and de Sauko party outdoor, baby, I could be up herself, oh yeah. With you, per se, make up be more about Diana Copimo, or as your Poquasi first or a year second floor, so a Wadum Plaza building in Moho, and I will be Hona Sanson, your mamma at dear a share ye, a Yamewa clothing, one also in number, a 0242 759-418 one also at a dear beer. I will pay a say where they can money memina or pamling in a be as a down confirm. We are making candy more a Obaapa Mavis Akosua. We try me to see her, me buy a baby digger home and come with us.